So this song is in 4/4 time. So we have 4 beats in a bar. And that basically means we want to be thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just that steady pulse over and over again as we play this song. And pay attention to the tab. It's going to be really helpful for understanding where you put your fingers are on the frets. So the first section of the song are these 4 bars, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So the first chord, I'm using my pinky for the 5. Again, look at the tab. My middle finger for the 4, my ring finger for the other 4, and my first finger for the 2. And I'm plucking the 5th string and rolling the rest of the notes. Now to roll effectively, you have to plant your fingers on the strings. So my right hand is touching the strings, and I'm basically just doing this motion. It's kind of like I'm turning a knob. So pluck, 5th string, roll. And then for the second chord, I'm holding down my ring finger, releasing the rest of my fingers, and planting my first finger on the first 4 strings, creating a bar. And I'm doing that same technique, pluck the 5th string, roll the rest of the notes. Now these first two chords last for about 4 beats. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, pluck, roll, 3, 4. Then I'm gonna keep my bar down for the 3rd bar here, and I'm gonna put my pinky on the 5, my ring finger on the 4, and I'm thinking to myself, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Then 4th bar, I'm gonna shift down. My middle finger gets the 2 as in 2nd fret. Again, look at the tab. My first finger gets the 1, and my ring finger gets the 2, and I'm going open 5th string, then index finger, get that 2, and then my middle and ring finger together, then release and pluck the 2nd string to get that 0, then back on. And I'm thinking 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay, the next section that we're gonna play are these 4 bars here, and it sounds like this. Okay, so the first bar, it doesn't say in the tab, but to get to the 7, I'm actually doing a slide from the 6 with my pinky to the 7, hitting that open D string, that 0. And then for the 6, I'm using my middle finger. For the other 7, I'm using my ring finger. Then I'm gonna release all my fingers except for my ring finger. I'm gonna let that harmony come out and just resonate. And I'm going to plant, very important, my middle and my ring finger down together. And I'm going to play that 6, pull off to a 5, and then I'm gonna slide down to the 4 and play that again. So 6, pluck, pull off 5, slide to the 4, and play that with your finger, with your right hand finger. So that little section, first bar, sounds like release, pluck, pull off, slide, articulate. In terms of rhythm, we want to think 1 and 2, and then we have this pull off, slide before we get to that 4, The 4 is on beat 3. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Second bar, we have our open A string, the 0. Then for the 2, middle finger, 1 with my first finger, and the 2, the other 2 with my ring finger. Goes to the 0, hit the 2 with your ring finger, and then 0, 2 with my ring finger. And the rhythm is 1 and triplet, 3, 4 and. Next bar, third bar of this section, we're doing that slide up again to the 7th fret, to the 7, 6, 7, same figure, 6, pull off to the 5, slide down to the 4, articulate it. But now we go to the 5 again. We're going to slide our first finger to get that 5, which we didn't have before. And the rhythm, we're thinking 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and The last bar of this section, you have your 4, and you could play it like this. It's the way that's implied in the tab. So the 4, you're going to play that with your first finger, and you're going to play your 0. Then the 6, you're going to use your ring finger. Other 6, you're going to use your pinky. 5, you're going to use your middle finger. And then you're going to release, play your 0, and then your 2 with your first finger. So that's way number 1. Way number 2 is playing your 4 with your pinky. Play that 0. And instead of a 6, you're going to play first finger, 3rd string, 1st fret. Next note, 2nd string, 2nd fret. You're going to release your pinky, play an open 1st string, and then play your 2nd string with your finger on it, 2nd fret. So the rhythm for this section is 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So practice this entire section. Try to locate the parts that are difficult for you. And I can guarantee you one of the tricky parts is going to be the... So just practice that fragment over and over again. So this next section, these 4 bars, are very similar to the previous 4 bars. So this section sounds like... So the first 2 bars are identical to the previous section. So let's skip those 2 bars. Let's take a look at the 3rd bar. Again, very similar to the previous section, except for the last note. So we have exactly the same, but now, instead of going to the 5th fret, to that 5, we're going to the 9. So we're going to pluck the 9th fret with our pinky, and then again there's 2 ways to play this last bar. We can play it with our first finger on the 4, play the open string there, the 0, and again we can use our ring finger to get the 6, our pinky to get the other 6, and play that 0 open string and use our middle finger to get that 5. So that's way number 1. Way number 2 is playing that 4 with your pinky, play that open string with it, and instead of a 6, we have our first finger, 3rd string, 1st fret, 2nd finger, 2nd string, 2nd fret, and then release that middle finger, play that 0, and then release our pinky and play our first string. So both ways are totally good to go. The rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So practice this section, repeat it over and over again. Try to locate those difficult parts for you, isolate those parts, and on to the next section. So the next section sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first chord of this section, I'm doing a half bar to get those twos, playing that 0, and I'm playing them blocked, or playing them all together. And then to get the 4 and the 5 for the next chord, I'm using my pinky for the 5 and my ring finger for the 4, and I'm rolling that chord. So that first bar is 1, roll, 3, 4. The next bar here, I'm playing that 0. The 2, I'm using my middle finger. The 1, I'm using my first finger. And I'm playing that 0. Playing all of these notes blocked. And then I'm going to shift my fingers up a string or down a string, depending on how you think of it. And I'm gonna roll. Again, I'm like turning a doorknob. I'm rolling to get that 0, 1, 0, 0. Then we go back, next bar here, third bar of this section. I'm doing a half bar, and in the tab, it shows that you can use a 5 with your pinky. Or another way is just to play the open string, 4th open string. And actually it's blocked, so blocked. Then same thing as before, using my pinky for the 5, my ring finger for the 4, and I'm rolling that chord. To the 4th bar now, I'm going to do a D shape on the 4th fret, and I'm playing that blocked. So for the 4, I'm using my first finger. For the 5, ring. For the last 4, I'm using my middle finger. Block, then I'm sliding down to the 1st fret with my first finger to get that 1, and I'm rolling that chord. Then the next bar is the same chord that we're familiar with, so that half bar, 4 and 5, and now we do our middle finger on the 2, our first finger on the 1, blocked, shift our fingers up a string, roll like we did before. Now, for this 3, 5, 5, 5, we're gonna go to the 3rd fret, put our first finger to get that 3, and the rest of our fingers to get those 5s. And we're playing that blocked. Then we're going to slide down to the 1st fret, our first finger on the 1, our ring finger on the 2, our middle finger on the 1, and then we have our open first string, and we're rolling this chord. And we want to have this first chord ring out for its full value, so it's a full beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then moving on to the next bar, we have a G bar chord basically. For the 5, I'm using my ring finger, and for the 4, I'm using my middle finger. I tend to just play an old-fashioned bar chord because I'm used to that. So you could do this, or you could do this, as long as you just play the right strings. So pluck. The next chord, you're going to release these 3 fingers, but keeping your first finger down, and you're gonna roll that. So practice this section over and over again until it gets more comfortable. And as you probably realized, the pattern for the rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's like this for all of the chords. Okay, so the last 4 bars of the song go like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, hold. 2, 3, and let that resonate. So as you can tell, this is very similar to the very beginning of the song. So we have the exact same chord as we had in the beginning. We have our 5 with our pinky, 4 with our middle, other 4 with our ring, the 2 with our first finger, and we're thinking 1 and 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to shift down to that chord we played before, that open note, the 2 with our middle, 1 with our first finger, 2 with our ring, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Then we're gonna go to the first chord we played in this section, played exactly the same, 1 and 2, 3, 4. We're gonna keep our ring finger down and do a bar of the first 4 strings, hit that 0, let that ring out for as long as you want because there's a fermata on it, play the 2, and then the last 2 notes together with your middle and your ring. And let that resonate because there's a fermata on that as well. And that is it. So practice this section over and over again until it feels more comfortable. Then you want to start piecing things together and just keep at it. Practice every day if you can. Be consistent with it and it will start to get easier, more fluid, and just understand that you're not going to learn this all in one day. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions at all, please give me a message. I'll be happy to help.